second. Okay. Okay, we have a smaller pool today. But we might have more people join in today. So I am Sneha. I lead the business development at Glific. And today, this session is particularly on our upcoming bootcamp, which is supposed to happen which is scheduled to happen in September, and we are currently taking registrations for it. So this is just a space for you to ask questions. We have Saurabh and Pawan, who are our past bootcamp attendees. They can also uh, share their experiences with us. So now that we have Pratibha and Madhu joined us, just wanted to understand if you are already aware of what Glific is. If you can type yes or no, I can just start from there, and then we will move into the Q&A. Okay, great. Thanks, Madhu, and thanks, Pratibha. Okay, so I'll skip the intro about Glific. Also, I'll just walk you through what this bootcamp is all about, so that if you have any questions about that, and then we'll just then move into talking a little bit more specific about the questions that you might have. Okay, but before we do that, I would also ask Saurabh and Pawan to introduce themselves, the organizations that they are working in currently, and the work that they're doing.
Yeah, so myself is Saurabh. I'm currently working at the Amal Foundation. Actually, I am leading a project which is dealing in the development of hyperlocal NGOs across aspirational districts in India. So yeah, I attended boot camp in January. It was a nice experience, but still we haven't launched a Glific chatbot in our organization due to some technical glitches and operational issues. So most probably by the end of this month, we will launching this at large scale. I think for around 2,000 beneficiaries. Yeah.
Thanks, Saurabh, for the intro and also a bit about the bootcamp. Pawan, would you like to give an intro too?
Yes, Sneha. Hi, Sneha. Hello, others. Hi, Pratibha. So I'm Pavan. I am working with Shikshad currently as the head of product. So I lead the whole product development being in Shikshad. We had a very interesting and a very simple use case concerned with using a chatbot in our area. Basically, we work in a tribal area. We work in a conflict-affected tribal area. It's pretty remote, so we don't have access, physical access going into the villages to our teachers, and it becomes very difficult for us in order to have that conversations with them. I think we thought, why shouldn't we actually try to bring a chatbot into play so that it can actually ease the whole process of whether being monitoring and evaluation or rather trying to share data and retrieve data and then have those conversations with teachers and stuff. So I think that is where Glyphic has come into the picture. It has really helped us in trying to understand or re-strategize our approaches. So we are still in the process of piloting the whole process. I know it's been a while for me, even like what Saurabh was mentioning. We're still trying to pilot the process, and hopefully by the end of September, I think we'll end our process and do a very quick review on what we have done so far, and then take it forward from there. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much, Pawan, and thank you, Saurabh, for that intro. I'll just quickly walk you through what are some of the things that we are covering in the bootcamp this time, and then we will open the floor for questions. I do have some questions for Pawan and Saurabh, but Madhu and Pratibha, you can also go ahead and ask questions. I'll just going to share my screen. Okay. Okay. So there are a couple of things that we're doing this time in the bootcamp, which is sort of similar to what we have done in the previous bootcamp as well, is that we are promising our NGOs that we will help you launch your WhatsApp chat line in 2 days with us. We will provide you hand holding on how to launch the bot, what are certain things that you can take care of, how can you design those first conversations on the bot itself, and then run your pilot successfully with limited number of users. So that is what we are promising through the bootcamp. The other bit is more, so the other bit which is like a value add for the NGOs is that we are waiving off the 3 months platform and setup fee. So while having multiple conversations with NGOs, we've realized that the 3 months period is a good enough period for them to try out a technology tool, understand whether this is the right tool for them, and pilot it out with real users and see if this would make more this technology tool would makes more sense for them to incorporate in their program. So that's how we've come up with a 3 months waiver. And the other additional bit is so like how this is going to look like for an organization that signs up is that once you basically sign up, we will help you in getting ready for the bootcamp. There are a couple of logistical things that we need in place so that an organization is ready to come for the bootcamp. And once they go back, they're ready to at least test out the chatbot with couple of users. And once that is done, we will be working with you for next 3 months after the bootcamp in more of like a cohort based manner, working with you, understanding your the ways in which you can improvise your conversations, take it to more users, launch it at scale. Will help you with launch strategy. It is also going to be a lot of like one-on-one conversation with you, understanding what exactly what exactly do you plan to do in those 3 months. So it has to be in line with what the organization is planning to achieve as well. So yeah, so that's bit on the 3 months plan after the bootcamp. And we're doing it in 2 cities currently, this is Delhi and Mumbai, and we're closing the registrations on 25th. So that's the that's how the bootcamp looks like. Yeah, so I'm just going to stop sharing my screen here, and we can move into the questions. I'll just open the floor for questions. Pratibha, Nirmala, Madhu, if you have any questions, we can start from there. You can either unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat window.
Yeah. Hi, Sneha. Thank you for sharing sort of the basic idea of this whole bootcamp. Could you share what the structure of the bootcamp itself will look like? Like, will it be a lot more work time? Will it be what will be the exact structure? And also, from your recommendation and from what you understand from previous experiences, what type of members from the organization would you recommend attend the bootcamp so that it would actually add value? And how many people do you traditionally have at the bootcamp and everything? Could you share a little bit details about that?
Sure. Okay, that's a good question to begin with. So, exact structure of those 2 days, are you talking about, Pratibha, or are you talking about the entire duration?
Just an overview of the entire duration would be useful. I think the exact nuances is fine.
Sure. Okay. So from the time you sign up, so the first month, basically the next complete month, is where we will be working with you on 2 bits. One is the Facebook Business Manager verification. That's a prerequisite that we need for any organization to launch their WhatsApp chatbot. Okay, so that's basically we will offer you a lot of support in making sure that the Facebook Business Manager verification is there. The second support, the second structure, the second thing that we have included is also that during this 1 month time, we will work with you in refining your use case. So at least we have some level of idea that hey, these are the two things that you definitely want to try it out, build conversations around it during those 2 days of boot camp. So basically refining of use case and understanding what exactly your needs are and what is feasible to work on during those 2 days is something that we will do. This is before you come for the boot camp. During those 2 days at the boot camp, what we will do is we will help you design those conversations on a tool. Then we'll help you build it on our platform itself. We'll help you try it out with you can use your mobile phone to try it out the conversation. We'll also, because there'll be more organizations as well, so we will also like ask you to collaborate with others and refine your conversations. It's more of like a one-on-one plus group work as well. So it's a mix of both during those 2 days. And we'll walk you through the entire Glific platform, tell you what feature you can integrate going back from the boot camp, and if there is anything that you would like to do during that boot camp, any feature, we will help you integrate that as well. And post that, the 3 months is like, hey, you will get a lot of hand holding in terms of understanding how can you refine those conversations, because the multiple things that you keep, you'll keep iterating once you keep testing out with different users. You will see one type of content might not work best for your people. You will again take their feedback. We'll also tell you, hey, these are the 10 things that you should definitely try. Instead of taking responses on, very basic example, instead of taking responses as text, why don't you use buttons to take responses, right? So something as basic as that, and something that will help your pilot to be a successful one. So we'll also work with you in understanding what exactly, with how many people you want to pilot and all those things. And that is something, it's dependent on organizations need to it depends on basically organization to organization, and we'll work with you in those 3 months to get your pilot to a successful stage. So that is what it is.
Perfect. Perfect. Thanks a lot for that. And one follow-up question that I had was, so the 3 months starts just after the boot camp. Sort of the 3 month period starts just after boot camp, or do we have some time? Because also we are still in very initial phases of thinking about the use case and how we want to deploy this and everything. So even for us to prepare for a pilot, like identify even the first adopters and the early set of users that we want to even pilot with, would probably take us, a month or so to do. So would there be a potential for us to do this 3 months, let's say, a month after the boot camp or something, or do we have to do it immediately?
It's absolutely your choice, Pratibha. When do you want to do it? We will start those conversations on use case, on how do you want to do it from September onwards, so that at least we will know what type of conversation do you plan to you want to have in place, right? And at least you can do an internal testing of sorts. Even if you're not going to a real user, you would still have like a, whenever you go back to your city and you are running a pilot, you can at least do a beta launch with your internal team members and understand how can you then take it to real users basically. So that is something which is flexible. It's totally your call. How would you like to go about it?
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Yes, Sneha, this is Nirmala from Spark Change here.
Yeah.
Hi. Just wanted to understand, would it be possible to have an initial conversation to figure out if the programs that we do lends itself to the Glific platform before signing up for this bootcamp? Would it be possible to have a conversation around that?
Yeah, we can have that conversation. And I'm just going to share, you can reach out to me. I can, we can have a longer discussion on understanding whether this would fit or not fit, right? So,
so your contact details, if you could share.
Just sharing my link here, Calendly link. You can block some time. That would be great.
Yes, I will do that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. Also, there was one more question. What type of team member should attend the bootcamp? That was another question which Pratibha mentioned. Pawan, would you like to address that question?
Yes, yeah, sure. So even we've had this thinking within our organization about like who do we actually send as a part of this whole development process of a chatbot with Glific. I think I personally have been onto the bootcamp. I don't have any technical experience. I'm not an engineer. I've never worked on systems, but still I could figure out how chatbot functions because the whole handholding experience that I've had particularly in the boot camp, I've had a very specific person that I was reaching out to. I was sitting along with them, and I've had a sense of how the flows would work. How would I design my own flows? There were existing templates available. So using those existing templates, I could actually build on the use case and the understanding that I've had along with it. And when I actually took it back to my team, I could actually explain it pretty easily because the whole process is already set. And I think there are a lot of interesting, what do you say, frequently asked questions. There are FAQs available. There are a lot of tools available. And of course, I could reach out to my manager, particularly with Glific, anytime that I could reach out. And I was also connecting on Discord continuously in order to resolve my queries and stuff. So I think that depends on, again, one thing, definitely coming back to my team, it might add like an extra work for me. I might have to invest a lot of time into this, developing flows, keep testing it and trying to put it onto the field and then communicating it to my team. It might be an extra work. I think someone from the leadership team, along with another person, who can actually devote a considerable amount of time into developing this chatbot and maintaining and sustaining it. I think a couple of them can actually work this out without any technical experience for that matter.
Thanks, Pawan. So yeah, the idea is basically someone who can take a lead on handling the chatbot and who has some like bandwidth to manage, like how Pawan mentioned, manage the bot itself is something is someone that we definitely want to have at the bootcamp so that we can train that person and that person can take it forward with the team. So that is
Just to add, Sneha, just one more thing. Another example I can cite from my own organization would be, for example, I work on the product team. Now I have this connection with the implementation lead. The implementation lead is like who goes on to the field, executes it, and then gets the data back. So I think you might need to be in touch with the implementation team. I might also need to be in touch with like the development of the chatbot teams. I think a person who could be in the bridge who can actually connect between these two teams, internal teams, can actually be very helpful or very useful in that case to pick up this role of developing chatbot. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, Neha.
Thanks, Pawan. Okay. Any questions? Anjali, Pratibha, Madhu, Nirmala.
Yeah, hi, I'm Anjali. Can you hear me? Yeah. So I just wanted to discuss how do we port it to a different number? I mean, how does this work? We have a pilot on some other number, and then do we port it to another number?
So are you using a WhatsApp chatbot on a number right now?
No, we are planning to start one. I mean,
Okay.
so
I did not understand the question, Anjali. Are you saying
no,
you?
no. I mean,
Yeah.
do we need to have a dedicated phone number?
Yes. So there are two things which are prerequisite that we need. One is
Hmm.
a phone number that you will
Okay.
use to run a WhatsApp chatbot. So
Okay.
even any number that you have, even if it is not registered,
Mm-hmm.
even if it is, I mean, there's a number that you already have that you can use. That's great. Otherwise, a new number, that is something that you have to arrange for. And we just have to make sure that WhatsApp is not active on that number currently.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
The second one is we definitely need a Facebook page of the organization. So if it's not there, we have to create that.
Okay.
Yeah, two things to begin with.
Okay. Okay. And that can be done. I mean, we can try it out on one number and then maybe formalize it on another number.
So the transfer as of now doesn't happen that way.
Okay.
But I can check with the team once, Anjali, if that is
Yeah.
possible.
Because otherwise, then we'll have to, I mean, dedicate one numbers totally from the beginning. No?
Yeah.
Just I wanted to check.
Idea is if you can think about having one number from the beginning itself and run it, that's
Mm-hmm.
better. But I can check if we can transfer.
Okay. And do we get these? I mean, this will be like again web WhatsApp, no? We can
Correct.
take it, respond to it on from the bigger screen. Okay.
Yes. So basically, this is a platform-based. Glific is platform-based, not an
Okay.
app-based, like how we do
Mm-hmm.
WhatsApp Business and WhatsApp, regular WhatsApp that we have.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
So you have the controls with you on the platform itself, and you can see all the
Okay.
chats and you can respond to them. So that is how it
Okay.
is.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I'll just ask Saurabh if you can share a couple of highlights from the previous bootcamp on your experience of just attending the bootcamp, and if there's anything that you would like to share.
Yeah, yeah. So I attended the boot camp. I think it was in Goa. So yeah, experience was very great, and best part that I ended up with one working communication flow, and we are going to use this by the end of this month. And the support from the team was great. Even Abhishek personally helped me in designing the entire communication flow and how to create data sets and entire thing. And rest of the thing that I was able to learn many things from different team members, the perspective from different organizations and what they are working on. So this too was a great learning for me. And I also got experience of different communication flow and what is successful and what is not successful, and how to uh, be more innovative while designing a communication flow so that it should be attractive and more user friendly. So all this was a great opportunity for me, and I was happy that I was the part of this. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Saurabh. Thank you for sharing that. Any other question? Any other question? If you have, we still have time. Also on the person who will be joining in for the boot camp, at least we would need one person to be there from the organization, at least one. And there's no technical expertise this person should have when they're coming for the thinking about handling a chatbot or thinking about handling Glyphic. We will help you with the hand holding and onboarding. So there's no sort of like technical uh, expertise needed, but would be great if someone has an interest of doing it, so that would definitely add some value.
So Sneha, and then what are the other financial implications? I mean, what other charges or how does it?
Sure. Okay. So Anjali, for the boot camp, which is for 2 days plus the 3 months of period where we are offering support to you, we have waived off the
Mm-hmm.
platform fee and the setup fee.
Okay.
So for 3 months, you do not have to pay for anything other than the conversation fee. The conversation fee is
Mm-hmm.
basically the WhatsApp messaging cost. So that's not under our control.
Okay.
And that is something which depends on with how many users you want to test, how your conversation is
Mm-hmm.
like, right? So
Okay.
yeah, so that is something which is not included. But other than that, support and waiver on platform fee and setup fee is something that we're giving for 3 months.
Okay. And then after 3 months, it will be?
After 3 months, it will be the regular costing, which is 7,500 per month on the platform.
Okay. Okay. And is there any restrictions on the number of messages or whatever, or that messages fee will be separate?
So messaging fee is separate. So that is,
Okay.
this is the
This
just
is
the
working from
platform.
the okay, Glific platform.
Yeah, this is the platform access. But
Mm-hmm.
for the WhatsApp fee is basically different, depends on what type of messages you are sending, basically.
Okay, so currently per message, how much it is? Any
So
rough idea?
every message, we are working, we're not directly working with Facebook. We have
Mm-hmm.
Gupshup, and Gupshup is the one that's handling our conversations with Meta or Facebook. So
Okay, okay.
so Gupshup is helping us in, helping us understand how's the costing like and what are different things in which, how is the
Okay.
platform being used and other things. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so WhatsApp charges are different depending on what type of message you're sending. So they have they have different categories. I'm just going to share that here itself. Just a second.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So WhatsApp charges are different depending on what type of message you're sending. If it's a marketing conversation,
Mm-hmm.
then it's charged at 72 paisa per message.
Okay,
It's
okay.
a, if it's a service message means a user is sending a message to you versus you sending a
Mm-hmm.
message. So then it's priced at 29 paisa.
Okay,
Utility message is a different category. So these are like different categories
okay.
on the messages. Authentication and
Mm-hmm.
receiving an OTP on
Mm-hmm.
your WhatsApp to to do a payment or for a program or anything like that.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
not,
okay.
as of now, this is not applicable, not operational in India. But yeah, so this is how the costing looks like. Meta also gives 1,000 free user initiated messages. If a user is sending a hi message to you every time, uh,
Mm-hmm.
they're giving a 1,000 service messages free.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
And on top, this is just the one time cost. Like these messages,
Mm-hmm.
72 paisa is like the initiation cost. The first time a user receives a message or sends a message is that
Okay.
these are those messages. But for every message that you're exchanging on the platform after that, there's a 7
Mm-hmm.
paisa charge for the messages.
How much?
7
Sorry, I
paisa.
missed.
7 paisa.
7 paisa.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So 7 paisa is the charge, which is Gupshup is charging us on all the messages.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is on the pricing. And this is the monthly charge, which is 7,500 per month on the platform.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. Yeah, thanks. Mm.
Okay. Any more questions?
Hey
Okay.
Sneha, will this recording be shared with us? I missed the first few minutes of the conversation.
Sure.
If it will be shared, that would be great.
I can share yeah, I'm recording it. I'll share it with you.
Thank you so much.
Any questions you have right now?
No questions right now,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay. Okay. No worries. Okay. Okay. One last question to Pawan and Saurabh before we just close this out. So Pawan, if you can, for organizations that are signing up for the bootcamp, is there anything that you would like to give as a heads up or a tip to the organizations that are thinking about chatbots for their program?
Sure. Not like an heads up or stuff, but I would definitely try to bring some of the insights from my experience, particularly concerned with the whole process of developing a chatbot could be a couple of things. One is to have a very strong use case, even though we might not be able to define it immediately, but rather try to define that use case in the process along with the team of Glyfic. I think the use case itself becomes so powerful because that has really helped me in order to redefine or re-strategize my use case again and again. So I think in order to develop my chatbot and try to develop a pilot around it. So I think developing a use case could be an absolutely imperative or an important aspect, at least for me, I've had in my experience. And second one is consistency could be the key because I've struggled a lot in order to manage a lot of things along with this thing. So trying to orient my own team back at my organization and trying to bring this onto the plate. I think initially my own organization was very apprehensive towards having a chatbot, but later me and my ED, executive director, had to sit down and then start theorizing about how chatbot can actually fit into the whole process of developing monitoring and evaluation frameworks. I think having that consistency in developing and try to fit your pilot within the first 3 months is what I would definitely try to suggest, because that is where this hand holding and support would be very important in coming into the picture. So I think having a very strong use case and consistently trying to test it out with different specs. I think during the bootcamp, I've met this organization called Olo Labs. I think using different creative inputs coming into developing a chatbot would be very helpful also at the same time. So yeah, I think those things are the top of my mind, Sneha. So thanks.
Thank you so much, Pawan. Saurabh, would you like to share anything on that?
So nothing, just I want to add one more thing in Pawan's sharing. So that's very important because for us and we are planning this chatbot because it seems very cost effective to us, because it will reduce the cost of, I think, more than 5 to 10 people in our organization. So in that sense, it's quite cost effective. And for example, if we are conducting monitoring and evaluation surveys and communication on different uh, aspects, events, and other things. So previously, we needed to employ people for that purpose. But through this chatbot, we can do in very easy way and intuitive way. So during our last meeting with our tech team, we finalized that it will reduce at least 10 to 15 head cost to the organization. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Pawan and Saurabh. We'll just close the session. If there's any last questions anyone would like to ask, just pause here for a couple of seconds.
I think maybe we'll connect late. I mean, a bit later also with after brainstorming.
Sure.
This was great. Nice. Thank you for that.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining in today. Thank you, Saurabh and Pawan, for sharing your experiences with more people.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sneha. So, yeah, it was nice to connect you back. I think it's a long time.
it's been a long time. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you,
Okay.
Pawan. I have my email address here in the chat window. If anyone have any question, they can write back to me.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much, Sneha.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.